Professor Lee Namyong's commentary, Long, Jongno, Seoul must leap beyond a historic city into a global AI service industry special zone. Hello, this is Professor Lee Namyong. Today, I would like to conduct an in-depth analysis of the policy proposal suggested by preliminary candidate Lee Dae-hee of the People Power Party, which argues that Jongno in Seoul should be designated as a global AI service industry special zone. I would like to emphasize that Jongno must be redefined beyond a simple historic city into a global AI service industry hub. The future of Jongno does not lie in abandoning its past. Rather, it lies in overlaying an AI-based service industry operating system onto this highly condensed space where Gyeongbokgung Palace, Gwanghwamun, Insadong, Bukchon, Sejongdaero, the government complex Seoul, major corporate headquarters, and global business hubs are concentrated. Jongno has historically been the heart of Seoul, where administration, diplomacy, finance, tourism, culture, and knowledge services intersect. As of Q4 2025, Seoul's population stands at approximately 9.58 million, and the Seoul metropolitan area reached 26.3 million in 2024, accounting for 50.8% of the national population. In other words, the transformation of Jongno is not just a local issue, it is a gateway to restructuring the industrial system of the entire metropolitan region. I define the global AI service industry in three layers. First is the software industry, which includes system semiconductor design, embedded software systems, business software, automation tools, AI software, and content software. Second is the IT services industry, which operates and scales this software, cloud platforms operations, security, integration, and managed services. Third is the business services industry, which generates actual revenue and jobs, administration, finance, education, healthcare, welfare, and tourism. These three layers do not exist separately. If software is the engine, IT services are the roads and power grid, and business services are the economy running on top of them. Transforming Jongno into a global AI service industry zone means redesigning it as an integrated ecosystem where these three layers connect from demonstration to commercialization and export. First, let us examine the software industry. Gartner forecasts that global software spending will reach 1.23 trillion in 2025. This indicates that software has already become a core axis of the global economy. In Korea, the Software Industry Association reported that domestic software revenue reached KRW 140.6 trillion in 2024, the highest ever. This is a critical figure. It shows that Korea's software industry is no longer a peripheral subcontracting sector, but has become an independent growth engine. Jongno is well suited to become the core hub of this domain because it is not a place for manufacturing plants, but rather for design, planning, service modeling, regulatory coordination, public procurement, global partnerships, financial integration, and content distribution, system semiconductor design, and AI software thrive where people, capital, legal systems, diplomacy, and customer interfaces converge. Jongno is precisely such a place. Second, the IT services industry forms the infrastructure layer of the AI service ecosystem. Gartner projects global IT services spending to reach 1.73 trillion in 2025, while public cloud end-user spending is expected to reach 723.4 billion. This shows that software alone does not complete the market. Cloud and IT services that deploy, operate, and scale software form an equally massive market. In Korea, this trend is already evident. According to a 2025 cloud industry report by the Ministry of Science and ICT and NIPA, the domestic cloud market reached KRW 9.26 trillion in 2024, growing by 25.2% year-on-year. IaaS, SaaS, and PaaS all grew by over 20%. This clearly demonstrates why Jongno must host cloud and AI operation centers, public-private testbeds, regulatory sandboxes, and data governance hubs. AI is no longer a product-selling industry. It is an operational industry that continuously runs, learns, and improves customer experience. If Jongno dominates this layer, it will become a city generating recurring revenue, not just policy slogans. Third, the business services industry is the ultimate value creation layer. This is where Jongno is strongest. Jongno already functions as a complex service city where administration, finance, education, healthcare, tourism, culture and diplomacy converge. The Korean government's AI transformation roadmap aims for 70% AI adoption in industry and 95% in the public sector by 2030, expecting economic effects of approximately KRW 310 trillion by 2026. Notably, the service sector alone is expected to generate KRW 136 trillion. This is highly significant. It indicates that the primary battlefield of AI-driven growth in Korea is not manufacturing, but the digital transformation of services. Globally, IDC projects that digital transformation spending will approach $4 trillion by 2027. Thus, the target market for Jongno is not a few apps. It is a multi-trillion-dollar transformation of administration, finance, education, healthcare, welfare, and tourism. With its concentration of government agencies, financial networks, legal systems, and cultural infrastructure, Jongno is the optimal testbed for such transformation. When these three markets are combined, Jongno's strategic position becomes even clearer. Globally, software 1.23 trillion, IT services 1.73 trillion, cloud 723.4 billion, and digital transformation 4 trillion represent enormous opportunities. Domestically, the software industry KRW 140.6 trillion, cloud KRW 9.26 trillion, and AI-driven service effects KRW 136 trillion further reinforce this potential. These figures demonstrate that limiting Jongno to a tourism destination is inefficient. While the historic city brand is important, it alone cannot increase stay duration, recurring revenue, and high-wage employment simultaneously. The AI service industry strategy does not destroy Jongno's historical identity, it amplifies it through integration with data, software, cloud, and service innovation. Talent is also a key issue. While the figure of 4 million highly educated unemployed in the Seoul metropolitan area may not align exactly with official statistics, the underlying reality is clear. Korea has a large reservoir of highly educated underutilized talent concentrated in the capital region. For example, in 2024, the economically inactive youth population reached 4.16 million and the youth employment difficulty group stood at 674,000. OECD data shows Korea's college graduate employment rate at 80%, below the OECD average of 87%. Jongno's AI service industry zone must function as a platform that absorbs this talent into administrative AI, financial AI, edtech, medical AI, tourism AI, and content AI sectors. Moreover, Jongno already hosts global leading companies, public institutions, diplomatic centers, and major business networks. According to Invest Seoul, the Seoul CBD continues to attract global firms such as Hyundai, Morgan Stanley, Microsoft, and Citigroup. Thus, Jongno is not a blank slate. It is a highly accumulated ecosystem ready for AI service integration. This is why it is suited not for manufacturing clusters but for headquarters-oriented, platform-based service export AI hubs. The strategy must be clear. First, cultural heritage must be transformed into AI-based service assets. Multilingual AI guides, personalized tourism, AR heritage interpretation, real-time congestion management, and integrated tourism systems. Second, Jongno must become a public-private AI testbed. Third, finance, legal, and consulting functions must be linked to B2B AI SaaS. Fourth, an AI talent pipeline must be built. Fifth, a comprehensive policy package including tax incentives, regulatory reform, procurement, and foreign business support is required. Ultimately, the key is this. Elevating Jongno's brand tenfold is not about slogans. It is about transforming its revenue structure, employment structure, and global recognition simultaneously. The historic city is Jongno's starting point, but the global AI service industry zone is its future. By layering software, cloud, and business services on top of its historical assets, Jongno can evolve into a living, high-value city. I believe this strategy can become the core vision of candidate Lee Dae-hee. Jongno stagnates if it only preserves and loses identity if it only develops. But through an AI service industry transformation, it can achieve preservation, growth, and globalization simultaneously. That is the path Jongno must take. Thank you for watching Professor Lee Namyong's commentary.